All right, let's talk about the weather in Tamalado today, because it's a really fascinating story. It's like the state has been literally split in two. I mean, depending on where you are on December 7th, you could be having a completely different day weather-wise.
So, the big question is, who gets rain today and who doesn't? Are you going to need an umbrella or sunglasses? Well, it all comes down to your location in Tamil Nadu. Let's dive into exactly why this huge divide is happening.
Okay, so our outlook for today is all about this great divide. The theme is this dramatic split. We're talking a clear line drawn right between the north and the south of the state. It's a classic tale of two skies, really.
So here's the deal. Imagine an invisible line running from Pondicherry all the way down to Kanyakumari. If you're south of that line, the conditions are just right for rain. But if you're in North Tamil Nadu, and that includes Chennai, things are looking a whole lot drier.
But why? Why is this happening? Well, it all boils down to a battle playing out in the atmosphere. Think of it as a classic post-monsoon tug-of-war between two really powerful opposing wind patterns. They're the ones calling the shots, and here's how it's working.
Okay, so you've got these two competing forces. On one hand, you have these moist easterly winds blowing in from the Bay of Bengal. They're carrying all this moisture, basically feeding the rain clouds over South Tamil Nadu and the Delta regions. But on the other hand, you have this dry continental air pushing down from central India. This dry air acts like a giant shield, suppressing any rain from forming up in the north.
And there's another piece to this puzzle, especially for the south. It's called a trough. Now, what is that? Well, it's basically a weak atmospheric system hanging out near the equator, and its job is to help organize all those rain clouds. It's like an extra bit of fuel for the fire, giving that rainfall in the south an additional push.
And look, this isn't just some prediction. We can see it's already happening. If you look at the proof in the numbers from the last 24 hours of rainfall, it tells the exact same story.
So get this. The highest rainfall recorded in the entire state was 41.6 millimeters. That was over at Pallur in Ramanathapuram. I mean, that's some serious rain, and it's a crystal clear sign of just how active those moist easterly winds have been down south.
And that wasn't just a one-off. As you can see here, places like Salugai in Sivaganga and Guntur in Madurai also got a good soaking. The whole list really. Ramanathapuram, the Delta districts, they all saw some pretty decent rainfall. It lines up perfectly with that wind pattern we were just talking about. All right, so that's the big picture. But what does this mean for you, right where you are? Let's get into your local forecast and break it down region by region for the next 24 hours. This way, you'll know exactly what's coming. First up, North Tamil Nadu and Chennai. If you're in Chennai, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram, or Chengalpattu, it's going to be mostly dry and cloudy. Now, because of that dry air we talked about, you might see a brief, sudden, little shower pop up in an isolated spot. But, and this is the key takeaway, don't expect any significant or widespread rain. It's just not in the cards for you today.
Okay, now for the Delta and Central districts, Mayiladuthurai, Nagai, Tiruvallur, and so on. You guys are kind of in the middle of this battle, so you can expect that moderate rain to continue, pretty similar to what you saw yesterday. It'll probably come in waves, so be ready for spells of rain, especially in the evening, through the night, or in the early morning hours as those winds keep pushing in.
And finally, let's talk about South Tamil Nadu. This is it. This is the main event, the most active weather zone in the state today. For places like Sivaganga, Ramanathapuram, Madurai, all the way down to Tirunelveli, widespread, moderate to even heavy rain is expected in a lot of areas. This is where those easterly winds and that trough are really doing their thing.
And hey, just a quick hop over the border to Kerala. It's a pretty similar story there. This same system is going to bring widespread moderate to heavy rain to places like Pathanamthitta and Alappa. Other districts like Tiruvananthapuram and Kollam might see some lighter, more isolated rain.
So that's the scoop for today. But of course, the weather never stands still, right? It's a dynamic system. So the big question is, what's next? Let's peek into the future and see how things might change over the next few days.
Okay, looking at the timeline. Tomorrow, it looks like those dry winds might back off just a little bit, which could give Chennai a chance for some light rain. The south, though, yeah, you're probably going to stay wet. Then, we're keeping a close eye on December 15th and 16th. A new system might be on its way. But after that, toward the end of the month, things get really uncertain really fast.
And that uncertainty really drives home a golden rule of weather forecasting. Trying to predict things way out in the long range, it's a super tricky business. For anything you can really count on, you have to focus on the short term.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? As these weather patterns get more and more complex and shift around, it really makes you wonder, what are the real limits of forecasting? I mean, how far out can we truly look and feel confident in what we see? Just something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in to this Explainer.